I posted a poll and you guys voted. Fog Machine won with the most votes, so let's dive into this budget-friendly beast. Jerry back with that Theatrically Jerry, and today we are going to be reviewing the FM 1500. This is a 1500 watt fog machine. Included with purchase is your user manual. This is a smaller user manual, but they do have a lot of pages in here, including your safety instructions for operating it, how to use it, including filling your fog solution. This manual is actually pretty decent. It does have a lot of graphics, and it is both color and black and white. We also have a diagram here on how to control the fog machine, as well as the technical parameters here for the machine itself. So let's go ahead and see what else they've included. They've also included a receiver here and a RF remote here. So we're getting a radio frequency remote, which is good because it's going to have a very long range. And we're also getting a receiver here that also doubles as a manual button. So pressing this will also activate the fog machine. I actually haven't seen something like this. That's actually very smart. So we're getting two ways to control the fog machine here. And you're also getting one more way. And this does not control the fog itself. This is just for the lights on the front here, but this is an RF remote for the lights. I would have preferred to have seen one remote to control everything, but they broke it up for us. So you're getting this as well. And last but not least, because this is an atmospheric, this is fairly typical. We're getting an IEC power cable here. It's actually pretty decent, super thick. It's about 6 feet long. The FM 1500 measures in at 15 inches long by 9.1 inches high by 7.5 inches wide here. So it weighs in at about 11.53 pounds, and this is due to its mostly metal and aluminum shell here. So it does have a little heft to it, and it's going to weigh a little bit more than that when the fog solution tank is full. The first thing you're going to notice on the FM 1500 is the front panel here. So this is rather unique looking, and this is what drew me to this fog machine. It features 24 RGB LED lights, and these are SMDs behind a par-like reflector here. They are arranged in a super unique square pattern surrounding the fog nozzle here. The nozzle has a built-in muffler on it, and this is to, believe it or not, help dampen the whooshing sound you hear when fog exits the nozzle. But it also has a second purpose that a lot of people don't know about, and that is to protect you from accidentally burning yourself. So this is basically a two-in-one in terms of its purpose. And as you can see deep down in here, we do have the nozzle where the fog exits, and that gets extremely hot. And if you've ever touched one before, you probably won't want to touch one again. But luckily for us, they have included this as a safety feature, as well as to help dampen the sound of the fog exiting the machine. The back of this machine features a oversized lighted rocker switch. It feels really nice, not cheap, and it does give you this nice audible click when you are turning it on and off. I love seeing lighted rocker switches on atmospherics because it's just easier to find the on and off switch in the dark. So great job on that. Right below that, you would think is a 3-pin DMX, however, it is not. This is a 3-pin for the wireless receiver. So definitely don't plug your DMX into this. It's not capable of being controlled by DMX, and that is one thing I was disappointed with seeing on this machine. However, we have to consider that it's a budget-friendly atmospheric, so I overlooked that. But this is for the wireless receiver, and right below that, something we're all very used to seeing on atmospherics, is your IEC power port, and we do have our built-in safety fuse. Anytime we're using fluids or liquids, it's great to have a fuse built in, as well as GFCI, to minimize the risk of an electric shock, because we are using this around liquids. So great seeing that as well. To the right here, something that's also fairly typical with fog machines is your fog solution tank level meter here, and they have really nice graphics showing full, half, and empty, as well as a little window here. One thing that bothers me about these windows is that in the dark, you can't really see how much fog solution you have left. I would have liked to have seen a lighted fog solution tank. However, again, this is a budget-friendly fog machine. We also have our warning label over here, and it's CE ROHS approved, don't recycle, etc. This is just telling you what to use in terms of fog solution, as well as how to operate the machine safely. Speaking of fog fluid, we have a 2-liter solution tank here. So you can easily remove this lid, and this is a plastic lid, but it does have a really nice texture to it, so it makes it very easy to remove. And we're going to take this off because I'm going to show you the included filter here. This is a metal fog solution filter. This helps keep particulates from entering the pump, so it's actually super important to have that. One thing why I'm pointing this out is I love fog machines that allow you to remove the fog solution tank, and this is one of those. So you can just easily remove this tank. It makes it great for cleaning, and then we can just easily pop it back in here. So loved seeing that as well. Something else the FM 1500 has included, and this is for mounting and portability. We do have this really nice plastic oversized handle here. That's for carrying the fog machine. And then we also have this metal yoke here with oversized thumb screws, and there is an M10 hole, so you can mount this with a C-clamp to your truss if you want to, or you could just simply have it sitting on a flat surface anywhere. So you do have options for the portability of this, as well as mounting it. So I loved seeing that as well. So something that kind of bothers me about this fog machine is the fact that once you remove your fog solution tank, you can see the heater block here, as well as the thermostat, and the exposed wires here are pushing up against your fog solution tank. So that does kind of bother me. You think they would have put a separator wall here. They did over here to separate the PCB and the power supply to the LEDs, as well as the control, but the heater block here is just exposed wide open, and you can see the thermostat, which all fog machines have, that allow it to cut off the heat once it gets to a certain temperature. But as you can see here, when I remove this tank, we have full view of the inside of the fog machine. So just something I wanted to point out. Is it necessarily bad? No, there is a safety fuse if there's ever an issue, and they do seem to have the appropriate heat shrink over the contacts here, but I'd still prefer not to have those anywhere near the liquid, but that's just my preference. All right, so let's go ahead and power this on. The first thing I want to do though is check the power draw, because this says it's a 1500 watt fog machine. So let's see how much power it draws when it's on. Right now we're at 0 watts because it's not turned on. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and then we're going to hit our lighted rocker switch here, and it's going to turn on, and we're going to see how much power it's drawing. So right now it's drawing 1,469 watts. So that's pretty accurate for its claim here. So that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and check out a couple of things here. There's our kilowatt. So our voltage, as you can see right here, is 114.8. So there it goes up to 115. 115 at 60 hertz because this is a US power supply. It is pulling 12.63 amps. That's insane. However, the power factor is really good on this. We have a 1 power factor, which I don't usually ever see. So that's actually fairly decent right here. Let's go back to our watts. And as you can see, it's still hovering around 1500 watts. So not bad. Let's go ahead and check out the built-in LEDs. As stated earlier, you are getting this little remote to control them. Let's go ahead and turn them on. We're going to check out our red here. So here's our red, and you can adjust the brightness. So they can either be dim, medium, or bright. So there's really only 3 options for this, and you're not going to get super smooth dimming, obviously, because this is attached to an atmospheric. So we're not going to get that in depth with it. Let's go ahead and check out our green here. So we have a nice green as well. Looks great. Let's check out our blue. So here's our blue. It's a nice deep blue that's going to activate UV paints and fluorescence, so that's good. Our green looks great, but it's let's check it out with this white paper. It's a little on the cooler side. I would have preferred a little bit warmer of a green, but again, this is budget friendly, so it's not the worst I've ever seen. Let's check out some of the built-in colors that the factory has made for us. So we have an orange. This orange actually looks great. It's a nice deep pumpkin orange color. Now you have to remember that we're mixing red, green, and blue here. There's no dedicated orange, so it's going to be mixing red and green, as you can see here. But orange looks great. We have a nice cyan color, aqua. It's mixing blue and green together. We've got a purple. We've got another orange. Looks nice. Another blue. Nice as well. So these are just some of the colors that they've included. You're not going to be able to color mix with this because DMX wasn't included with this light, but they do give you a fairly decent amount of nice colors. Look at this. We got a really hot pink here. That looks cool. I'm sure they're calling it magenta, but not really, because there's not a magenta LED on this. And here's our white, and the white's going to be a mix of red, green, and blue. So you're not going to get a nice white out of this. It's going to have hints of blue and green and red in it, but it's cool that they included that as well. Speaking of white, let's check out our strobe. So here's our strobe. It's actually a decent strobe. The refresh rate is about 15 hertz according to my eyeballs, but it's not bad. You can't control the speed of the flash. So this is all, I mean, this is what you're getting. You can't slow it down or speed it up. Let's see if you can do a color with the strobe. No. So you can't strobe your colors. You can only have white with this. Let's check out our fade. We do have some built-in macros. So we have a fade here, and that's just going to go through our colors that are built in. So red, green, blue, white, and all of the factory built-in colors. It looks good. You can't really control the speed of the fade, so that's kind of a bummer as well. Let's check out our flash. They're calling this flash, but this is just a color jump. So it's just going to jump through all of the built-in colors. And let's check out our smooth, which is basically going to ramp up to full intensity and then go to another color. So almost like a rainbow effect. And you can't control the speed of this either. So what's built in is basically just what you're going to get. But it's not bad looking. Let me go ahead and lower my shutter speed so we can have a faster shutter speed, so we can actually see just how nice the colors are with this. And I'm going to put this white paper back up so we can see if we're going to get any banding from the PWM or pulse width modulation of the LEDs. And currently we're not, and I'm at 1/750th on my shutter. We do start getting a little bit of banding starting at 1/3000th of a second, but it's not a horrible banding. And again, this is not visible with your eye or anyone else's. This is just what my camera can see, but the banding's actually pretty well controlled on this, which is going to be good if you want to use this at a wedding. So this fog machine takes about 4 minutes to heat up from stone cold to turning it on to it ready to go. I did test the time on it, and it was actually a little less than 4 minutes, but still not bad. Let's go ahead and check out the available options for operating this fogger. So, as shown earlier in the review, you do have a manual remote control here, and it does have a very long cord with it. This cord is about 10 feet long, so loved seeing that they gave you some length with it. This also acts as a receiver for this RF remote here. So you can operate the fog machine on and off. It only has 2 buttons, but you can operate it. And it's running at 433 megahertz for frequency, and it does have a rather large telescopic antenna here as well. So we have theoretically 2 ways to operate the actual fog. One thing that I was a little sad that they didn't include, but again, this is a budget-friendly atmospheric, is a onboard manual switch. There isn't one, so if you want to activate this, you are going to have to use that receiver remote combo. So just keep that in mind. Another thing, you can only operate the lights with the included remote. They're calling it an RF remote, but I don't think it is. I think it's an IR remote, simply because you can see the little diode here for infrared. So don't expect this remote to go very far, maybe 10 to 15 feet with good line of sight. So if you are wanting to control the lights, you are just going to have to set it to whatever you want it to be, or move closer to the machine to change the colors of it. But you're not going to be able to change the colors of this on the fly, like for instance to music. There is no sound active mode for these LEDs, at least not that I can see. So you aren't going to get sound active mode on this, which is kind of a bummer as well. So these lights to me kind of feel gimmicky, because there's so much potential for controlling them, and you can't with the included remotes. This wouldn't be an in-depth review, of course, without testing the fog output, and the FM 1500 states that it has a 20,000 cubic feet a minute, which is about on par with a 1500 watt fog machine. 20,000 cubic feet per minute of fog. It also has what they're stating is a 20 to 26 foot output or throw from the nozzle. So from the nozzle to 20 to 26 feet out from the machine, and we are going to measure that since this is an in-depth review. So let's go ahead and bring this out to my studio garage, which is much larger, and let's see just how well this fog machine fogs. We are now out in my studio garage, and we're going to go ahead and check the throw, or the distance this fog machine is capable of pushing the fog out from its front nozzle straight out. So I'm going to do this by using a tape measure, and we're going to see just how far it's capable of pushing the fog. Right now we're waiting for it to heat up. It does take about 4 minutes to go from cold to ready to go. And it's go time. All right, guys, so it's go time. We are 17 feet away from the fog machine here. The fog machine is the magenta light, and we're gonna see just how far this is going to throw. So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Well past 17 feet. It blew past the camera and is hitting about 25 feet of throw. So depending on the type of fog you're using, you're going to be able to get about 25 feet of throw with this fog machine. And I do recommend a heavy fog because this is a 1500 watt heater. Let's go ahead and get a different angle of this. Here we are at the 12-foot mark. It generates so much power or fog burst that it will actually move this piece of paper. So let's go ahead and check that out. Blowing it right into my camera here. so now I'm going to test out the surface temperature with my temperature gun, just to show you guys just how hot this thing is getting. So on this metal right here, we're getting almost 122 degrees Fahrenheit, 123. Back here under the handle is the hottest part. We're getting almost 160 degrees. So definitely don't want to touch this. I mean, you can, but not for more than about 2 seconds. If you have any questions or comments about the FM 1500, go ahead and leave them down below. I do respond to all questions and comments as quickly as I can. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel at Theatrically Jerry. I do a ton of reviews on budget-friendly DJ lighting, stage lighting, atmospherics, effects, equipment. I also do tutorials on literally anything from DMX control to how to assemble a PowerCon cable or a Ethernet cable, stuff like that. So if anything like that interests you, go ahead and subscribe to my channel at Theatrically Jerry, and thank you guys for watching.